All right, buckle up for chapter 3.2 on the least squares regression. We're going to take 4 days to go through this lesson. So begin with day 1. So you can see lots of stuff we're going to be covering here and the different learning objectives that we have for our section here. So we're going to talk about the slope and y-intercept of a least squared regression line. So kind of take it back to Algebra 1 with a y equals mx plus b. We'll talk a little bit how we're going to do that a little bit differently. We'll use a least squares regression line, or sometimes you know that might be known as the line of best fit, to predict y for a given x. We're going to learn something called residuals, and we're going to learn to calculate and interpret them and their standard deviation. We have to be able to explain the concept of least squares, and we're going to have to determine the equation of a least squares regression line using a variety of methods. So again, we're going to look at how do we get the equation of a least squared regression line. We're going to construct and interpret what's called the residual plot. So a lot of this stuff is going to be done on the calculator. And with that residual plot, it'll tell us if the graph, or if the data is modeled well by a linear model. We're also going to look at how to assess how well the least squared regression line models the relationship. How good is it? And then we're going to describe how the slope and y-intercept and the standard deviation of the residuals in the r squared, which is different than our r value. The r values are correlation coefficient. The r squared is something different that we'll learn, and how those are influenced by outliers. So lots of things we're going to get through. But one day at a time. Here we go. Regression line. Again, you may have known this as the line of best fit. We've seen that in the past. And that's what we're going to be looking at. And we're looking at the relationship between two quantitative variables. And that regression line will summarize the relationship between the two variables, but only in settings where one of the variables helps explain or predict the other. So as we say over here, regression line is a line that describes how a response variable y, so here's a response variable, changes as an explanatory variable x changes. So we often use a regression line to predict the value of y for a given value of x. So again, we'll have, in the past you've done y equals mx plus b. So we're using, we're looking to predict this y based off of what we're putting in for x. So for example, over here we're going to look at predicting the price of a truck based on the number of miles driven. That's explaining the price for that. Okay, and the regression line is a model. Okay, we're looking at a model for the data. Much like density curves. Density curves are a model of the data. And the equation of the regression line gives a compact mathematical description of what this model tells us about the relationship between the y and the x. So, as I said earlier, back in algebra, you talk about y equals mx plus b. Well, this is really the same thing. The b here is our slope. It's the number attached to the x is our slope. And here then our y, the a is the y intercept. Okay. So this little symbol above the y is a little hat. So it's actually read y hat. This right here is our predicted value of the variable y for a given value of x. And again, like I talked about, b is the slope and y is the intercept. Or the a is the y-intercept when x is 0. Okay, so just a little bit different form. So, we can look at a more specific example from what we had just before, the miles driven on a truck, and the price in dollars that we predict. So, we've taken a whole bunch of dots, got some actual observed data here. These little red dots are different values that they've collected data for. So you can see that roughly this maybe is about 7,000 miles driven. and it's about a $22,000 car or truck. So they come up with this equation right here to help predict the price. This is the predicted price. Okay? That's what that the caret piece is there. And this is the formula. So identifying the slope and the y-intercept of the regression line. Well, the slope is that negative 0.1629. And that tells us the price of a Ford F-150 that'll go down by $0.1629, or in other words, 16.29 cents per every mile. Now you can think of that as just putting that over 1 and thinking this is going down 16 cents per 1 mile. The y-intercept is the initial price of that truck, when it's the price of the truck before it's been driven any miles. So we can use that equation to predict a price in the truck given a certain number of miles. All right, so if I wanted to predict what the price of a Ford F-150 is with 100,000 miles, well, we'll just put that 100,000 into the miles driven and do some simple calculations and come up with $21,967. And if we go on the graph, we can see that we go up 100,000 for the miles and go over, we get that value between $20,000 and $25,000, and specifically $21,967 based off the equation. We're going to look at the word extrapolation. I'm also going to add in here too what's called interpolation. Okay, we can certainly use a regression line to predict, but that accuracy of prediction depends on how much the data scatter about the line. So if we have a whole bunch of dots that are really close to the line, it's probably a really good prediction. If it's really far away, probably not so good. So that's why we investigate that R value and that correlation coefficient in terms of the strength of our prediction. Okay. But again, exercise extreme caution in making predictions outside the observed values of x. Okay, so we'll kind of look at that prefix extra, or the x part. X means on the outside. So when we're collecting data, be careful of extrapolation. So in other words, what that means is if I've got data that's collected and I've just got a whole bunch of data that's right here, well, if I look here, that's the minimum on the domain. This is the maximum on the domain. Certainly I could find a line that goes to fit that data. Extrapolation is predicting if it's like way outside that data set, beyond the domain of the data. So that's extrapolation, and that can be dangerous. Just because we got a pattern in between these two times, this interval, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to follow that. This could curve up, could curve back down. So we don't know anything past the data that's given. It's called extrapolation. Interpolation is doing that within the given data set, and that's fine. There's some minor error that would happen there, just based off the difference in your observations. But interpolation is certainly safe to do. It's extrapolation that we got to be cautious of. So again, don't make predictions out using values of x that are much larger or much smaller than those that actually appear in your data. So another term we're going to look at is residuals. So obviously, when we have data, there is no, or rarely, there is the time where a line will pass through all of the dots. That would again be perfect positive correlation if I was going up like that. So what we want to do is draw this line. So these vertical distances, these distances from the point to the line. If I just kind of draw this a little bit more blown up. If I have a line like this, this vertical distance between the actual observed values and the predicted line, are small as possible. So kind of looking at the picture down here below, again, we try to fit that blue line, and I keep adjusting and adjusting and adjusting it, changing its slope, changing its position, so that all of these distances between the actual value and the observed value and the predicted value are minimized. We call that distance here between the observed y and what I would predict on the regression line, call that a residual. Okay? So that residual is the observed y minus the predicted y. I like to always think of this formula as the ROP formula. The residual equals the observed y value minus the predicted y value. So ROP. Alright, well, we'll continue on the least squares regression line in the second video. But until then, we'll have a little bit of time to practice some homework problems. And that would be the first one here in lesson 3.2. And numbers 27 through 32, 35, 37, 39, 41, 45. Alright, and again, I wish you good skill.